Hello, it's Tamara Hunter, and today is day number 222 of 365 Days of Awesome. Celebrate success through service. And I have our service hero today. Her name is Mary Ziola-Vega. I have met Mary through a friendly group that some would say is a competition. I don't see it as that is in any which way or shape. Everybody knows that I have gotten involved in the next impactor. I've been very, very open about it. And the reason I got behind it is because of the fact that I see that everybody that is joining this this program, they're impactors. They're people out there doing good. And this program is giving an opportunity for people to highlight what it is that they're doing. And Mary is one of those people. I am so excited to be sharing with you today. St. Patrick's Day. This is my attempt at green. And welcome, Mary.
Thank you very much for having me. Yes, happy St. Patrick's Day. Are you going to have a little bit of corned beef and was it sauerkraut, right? Or
Yeah, well, yeah, we can do a little that or cabbage.
cabbage?
Sauerkraut
Yeah,
would be what I would go for, but see, I come from the German way of thinking, but I have some Irish in me too, so be a little Irish in there,
well,
but
that's great.
if it works. I mean, you're in the Chicago area, right?
Yes, I am, and yes, it is big around here. In fact, I'm as you see, I'm in my store here, but outside there's a couple different restaurants. People with green hats, green clothes, green socks, green everything, just running in and out. So yes, it's been pretty green today.
And don't they like put green and water like
Yep,
around everything like that? And I mean, I think of movies even that have filmed there because it's such a big deal, right?
exactly. The green is put in the river actually yesterday, and then it takes 24 hours to come all the way out. The Chicago River, which goes right through downtown Chicago.
That's so cool. Well, anybody that is into it, happy St. Patty's Day to you, Patrick's Day. Um, I looked to see if I had any other props, and I really didn't. But we brought Chicago to the game, so there you go.
There you go. We're representing.
There you go. I love it. I love it. Oh, I do have my palm trees, so
There you go. That's
yeah.
pretty green.
So now let's go into it. I actually pulled your video and
Okay.
we'll play it in a few moments. But why don't you tell me or tell all of us what it is that you're doing that is I think it's brilliant. I'm so excited to be sharing this because I come from a family that my brother has always really supported the athletic programs,
Hmm.
and so much so that he went to San Diego State University, and he
Oh
was
wow,
even over like they have a really strong program to get the alumni to support the athletics and
that's
all
great.
sorts of really cool stuff. So, but why don't you talk about what it is that you're doing?
Okay, well, my company, Thriving Athletes, helps find the perfect fit athletically and academically, and helps the athletes graduate with little or no debt. And I do that by finding the perfect fit. The perfect fit can be all come together by empowering them to making the right choices. So I've been doing this for over 13 years and about 467 kids now, over $20 million in scholarships. Thank you, thank you. And with that being said, people have said to me, why don't you do it with more people? Why can't more people know what you're about? So I developed Empowering Athletes for Life. And what that is an event, and they're going to be hosted all over the country, and people will come together, speakers, Olympians, professional athletes. All these people come together to empower the athletes to make the right choice, be it financially fit, mindset, the right choice like in their school, because there's
Mhm.
NCAA and there's also NAIA, and then also the right choice academic wise too. So it kind of all comes together, and they learn about how to eat right, their body right, etc. And we're creating a new standard.
I
So
love it.
when the athlete is not only NCAA qualified, they're also empowered athletes for life qualified.
You know what? You're hitting so many areas. I mean, it's almost like mind boggling, right?
Right.
Because really, and I'm so thrilled to be highlighting what you're doing because of the fact that there's so many of us that are okay. I'm of the baby boomers. Everybody knows that. Wink, wink. I talk about it a lot. You know, I'm on the tail end.
Right.
However, I am a baby boomer, and I was involved in dance when I was a kid.
Hmm.
I did get a bit of a wee bit. Keeping with the Irish today, a wee bit of a scholarship for
Yeah.
college. However, I would have been I would have so just crunched up everything that you are doing, and so that I could set up my patterns for not just, if you
Right.
will, that period of my lifetime, but for my full entire lifetime. And that's what this is all about,
That's
right?
exactly what it's all about because it's so important now. And in fact, what's going on in the news. You hear this stuff, and it's so important now that these kids empower themselves enough to make the right choices, so they know what I'm going into, what debt I'm going to come out with. Am I ready for college? Am I ready for what size college? All that has to come together. I have talked to a student just yesterday, and she goes, "Well, I'm just going to go here because all my friends are going." Well, how do you think that's going to work?
Yeah.
And they don't think like that. They really don't.
Why don't we do this,
Hmm.
and then we'll come back and continue discussing, because I want
Sure.
to be able to. You produced a really good video, and I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to take us off the line, and
Okay.
then as soon as the video is done, everybody, it takes me just a little time to maneuver this. But once the video is done, we'll come back, and then we'll be able to discuss it, because I am sure right now that there's many people that are saying, "Genius! I I I I I know someone in my house. I know someone in my neighborhood. I know myself
Hmm.
that could use this." And before we get into some more questions, let's let you kind of explain it as you got it together for the next impactor.
Sure
Okay?
thing.
So
Hmm.
I'm going to bring that up and then take us down. All right. So for some reason, it doesn't want to play on the line.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. We're hearing it. But why don't you, were you seeing it by chance? Because I wasn't seeing it.
No, I'm
Okay.
only on my phone, so I can't go back
Okay.
and forth.
All
Yeah.
right. So why don't we do this? Why don't you just? I mean, I wanted to play it, but we can. What we can do is when we're done, I was going to ask you to put in the comment area how people can vote for you
Okay.
and find you and everything. So if you can put your video in there, they'll be able to watch it. But why don't you just paraphrase
Okay.
what's in the video? Because I'm sure you've got it
Okay.
memorized.
Well, you're right. It's what I live and breathe every single day. I wake up thinking about it. I go to bed thinking about it. And this is how it basically goes. There is $1.4 trillion in student loan debt. If we can help by reducing one of those zeros, that's $20 million in student loan debt. How we're going to do that is we're going to empower athletes for life to make the right decision when they're going into college. Instead of just going to a college because the coach says, I'm going to offer you a full ride, let's make sure that full ride is wonderful. Let's make sure the school is the right size. Let's make sure that if you are going to school for a certain career, that it's there. Let's make sure that that size of the school is going to accommodate your educational needs. If you are a person that needs a small school classroom, don't go to like Penn State. You have to make the right choices. And that's what we're doing. So, what I've been doing for almost 13 years now, I've been helping one on one in small groups. What I decided to do is to take that on a larger scale and develop Empowering Athletes for Life, all those events. The reason why we're doing the events is because every student, no matter what race, background, woman, female, male, man, whatever it might be, should know that they have options. They have options. They can get scholarships. They can go to the right school. They don't have to come out of their $150,000, $200,000 in debt. There's a ways to do it. And that's what I hope to do with the next Impactor, is to make sure that we can educate all these students to understand that there's a way to do this. And we're going to help them do it.
Love it.
And
Is
that's kind of
anybody too
paraphrased.
old? Is anybody too old?
No,
If
because you know,
if they have the athletic ability,
mm-hmm.
they haven't been to school yet,
Nope.
and they like their
Yep.
20s, their 30s, and in their whatever sport
Yep.
that they're in, because there's some sports
Mm-hmm.
that they have the Olympic uh, event,
Right.
and it is considered a sport, and yet they have people that, let's be real, guys, that have silver hair that sometimes are athletes, right?
Right. Right. As long as you've not played NCAA sports for more than 4 years, you can play. The only time you can't play is if you've been paid to play. So
Okay.
Michael Jordan could not go back to school and be an NCAA um, eligible student athlete at all. So it has to be like that. So let's say you are 25, but you love to wrestle and you
Mhm.
never went to college. Well, you
Right.
can go to college and wrestle because you have not used any of your eligibility.
That is huge.
It is huge.
And I have a feeling there's a lot of people have no idea that this is even a possibility.
Yep.
Now you because of your background and the success, you help to match. It's kind of like what I did back in the day as a recruiter. I was a
Yeah.
recruiter, and I would help companies to
Yep.
find the right people, and the right people to find the right companies.
Yep.
And not every company and not every person was meant for each other, because there's so many other factors besides just skill and school. There's
You got it.
there's the people factor in there.
Right.
So
You're hitting it on the nose on the button there. Exactly. Exactly.
uh-huh. And so you're helping these people, and I love some of the stuff, because as I was getting things ready, I was looking at it all, and I'm thinking, wow, this is just so impressive, so exciting, because when
Thank
you
you.
can think about coming out of school, like you're saying, and not having this overwhelming debt hanging over you,
Right.
you have much more of an opportunity to have gotten school through school without that stress level,
Right.
which we all know, you and I both know very, very well how stress can affect the body. Not
Yep.
a good thing.
Yep.
If you can take that element away, and then give someone a future where they're not feeling this overwhelming, like, okay, I'm
Exactly.
starting my life, but I'm starting it where
Exactly.
I can barely breathe and I can barely eat.
There's a lot of people like that. I met a man just recently, 62 years old, went in to apply for Social Security, etc. They started telling him, well, we can't give you your full amount. And they said, why? And he said, well, because of the fact that you have to pay back your student loan you never paid. 62. The student loan debt cannot be forgiven. If you file bankruptcy, you can't write it off. There is no way to get rid of student loan debt, except, well, there's a few ways. Like, you can call the government and say, I have this much money, will you take that as a payoff? But there's no other
Right.
way to get rid of it. You got to pay them.
A settlement, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed settlement. And
Right.
that is it. Other than that, and
Yep.
and school is not cheap.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I want to recognize Hermila. Thank you for being with us today, Hermila. It's great to see you. And I know we've got others that are watching. Thank you so very much. And they've been giving the hearts and the thumbs up. Um, what type of you're empowering athletes for
Mm-hmm.
life? You're going to be having speakers. You're going to be having this event in Chicago, correct?
Yeah, it's Brockford, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. Yes.
Okay, in Rockford, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is this geared for the athletes that are looking to go to school and their parents? Is this geared towards those that are in school right now can, and if someone is in school but they didn't see you before they started school, are they too late to get your
Nope.
kind of services?
Nope, not at all. I work with the students all the way across the board, starting like sixth grade up into college. You can all come to the event. It doesn't make a difference who you are. You can all go to the event. What's important to know that even though you, let's say you're a sixth grader or a seventh grader, and you're not sure you want to play in college, you're still going to get so much information from here, from the event, that then you will kind of know when you're growing up and you're taking all this in that, maybe I do want to play in college. I remember what they said. Now, Rockford has already booked it for next year, so it will be an ongoing event, hopefully, in a lot of different places.
Oh, this is exciting.
Yeah,
This is exciting. Okay, I'm loving this. You guys, if you're anywhere close, save the date.
that's right.
April the 12th and the 13th.
Right.
You
Two
want
days.
to get there. You want to get there. What is the cost to be able to go?
For both days, it's only $100.
Oh, that's
Yep,
that's basically just to keep the roof over their heads, right? To be able
that's
to go
all
to
it's
the event.
for. I am not making. There's no profit made here. The whole idea is that it is paying for the facility and
Right.
food, that kind of stuff, because
Right.
every event has to be present. How do I say it? I can't even say that word. Having a hard time with mind thought today, right? Has to
Okay.
have a service project at it. So
Oh.
we are painting picnic tables for the city of Rockford. So some of that money will go to purchasing some picnic tables, some we're going to be donating, etc. And then from there, they have this big event called Leave Your Ego at the Door on Friday night. And that's where they're going to have like those blow up obstacle courses for adults, the Velcro wall. And the speakers get to network with the students that are there.
How fun.
Right? I know.
Oh my goodness. I want to go play in those things. I mean, that sounds like fun.
I agree.
You do things the right way. So, I want to bring up an image
Hmm.
that I absolutely just I picked it out too because I love it. Thrive.
Uh,
Um, you had it in your special area, and then you had this here too. Why don't you explain a little bit more? I mean, it's.
okay. Okay.
Um,
Let's see. Okay. The four-part series is actually a webinar that we do. The webinar there is free, and anyone can go to it, and it basically goes through how to make sure what's best for you, ACT or SAT. What's the best size school?
right.
Those type of things. What is FAFSA? How do you apply for it? What do you put on there? How all that type of stuff goes into that four-part series. That one on the I'm not sure where we're at on the picture, and then Thrive. Thrive is just so important.
Hmm.
You just don't survive in life anymore. You thrive,
I love
and
it.
that's why there's thriving athletes that can become thriving adults, because this life is too dang short. To just survive and sit on the sidelines makes no sense to me whatsoever. So I'm
Hmm.
running alongside life and I'm thriving all the way through. And I'm hoping that I'm helping all these athletes learn how to thrive and not just sit the bench and survive.
And those words mean a lot, don't they?
Yeah.
We were talking about that beforehand.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
you just never know, guys. You never know, and so to thrive through your life, and
Yep.
and to take something, and I love the fact that it's also the mind, body, and spirit connection because you're doing
Right.
it with athletes, people, and guys, an athlete in college. Yes, it's important that you are a good athlete, but I have known a lot of athletes, and I actually was lucky enough to one time be in the audience with Rudy,
Hmm.
the football player that they did the movie about.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, yeah, yeah, and I got the real Rudy,
Okay. Can I give you a
yeah,
little
the
here?
real guy.
One little sneak peek, real quick.
Sure.
Someone's coming to Albuquerque from that movie.
Ooh, wow.
Yes, I talked to him directly, and someone will be in Albuquerque. I don't want to spoil it yet, but I've talked to him directly, and that person. We'll be in Albuquerque.
Oh, wow. This is just giving me, woo, how cool is this? I would even, this is so cool. And you know what? And the story here, guys. If you don't know who we're talking about in the story, the movie, look it up and maybe put it in the comments too, because
Yeah.
the story here is that anybody can achieve and thrive if you believe, and that is
Right.
so important, and you're willing to do the steps and the work and not give up, and 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 have big goals.
Yeah.
Goals are good. Big goals are great. And then
That's right.
find your teams. Find your teams. And that was what I want to lead into. You're in Chicago. Now, do you know this man personally?
Yes, I do. He's a wonderful, wonderful person. I talk to him as much as I can, and I watch his show every day, and I've met him in person several times. Mr. Loren Harris, a great guy.
I love him. I love him. I love him. I love him. I met
Yeah.
him only recently, and was invited onto his show, and then he and I visited, and that's how I found out about the next impactor.
Ah, okay, good.
About it until and so it's just that domino effect, and he is one of the creators. For those of you that do not know, he's one of the creators of the next impactor,
Hmm.
and so you are one of the original contestants, aren't you?
I know. I think I was number three.
That is so cool. And and I've been bringing this up a lot, you guys, and that is that they keep telling us, hey, we're the first season,
Right.
and it's going to be like, what do you think about that? So who are we? Gilda Radner, or Jeff Chase, or
Hmm.
the different ones
Yeah.
from Saturday Night Live. For you guys that don't know, those were the original cast members.
Right.
I was in I was in school. I remember them. Them. It was yes, dating myself again, um, but they were bringing that up, weren't they?
Yes, they were. Yep. It's a really good point because the next impactor, it doesn't matter. I mean, of course, in the long run, it will matter who wins. Yes, that will be important. But what's more important, I think myself, is that all the people like yourself and other people that we're meeting and we're growing from, and then if I get put onto a team, that captain that I will be able to meet and be able to learn from is just wonderful for all the impactors in this contest because they can learn how to impact more. They can learn how to really make a difference in the world. So, yes, someone will win ultimately, but everyone wins because of the fact they're going to learn how to do another step to do that impacting, which I think is the coolest thing in the world.
I so concur with you, and that's exactly why I joined.
Hmm.
Why I mean, I already had friends that were on, that were, and I was finding out that, oh, you're doing this, wow, and it was like,
Yeah.
okay, and then got other friends to come and join,
Uh huh.
because it was like, what, we're gonna do this all together, and yes, in the end, there is going to be ultimately one impactor that's chosen. However, like I've even said, which I don't watch a lot of these shows, but now,
Uh huh.
like, because a lot of them to me, I don't like some of them where they do pit them against each other, or that kind of
Right.
stuff, and that's just not my way of liking. I just don't want that in my world.
Right.
Um, but however, with this, I was thinking, okay, yes, look back on one of the long uh, that has had multiple seasons, and that's the singing show.
Right.
That
The voice.
uh, pardon,
The voice.
not The Voice. Yeah, there's another one. It's
American Idol.
yes, American Idol,
Hmm.
and not even a lot of the ones that went on and had quote unquote stardom were not always just the one that won was the
Exactly.
last standing.
Ex-
It was the exposure.
Exactly.
It was learning, and having to do all the different genres that they had to do, and all
Right.
the different things. When you study behind it, it was fascinating, and it makes so much sense, and
Exactly.
helps you to be well rounded,
I
and
have to agree 100% with that. Yep.
and that's what I'm excited about.
Yep.
So, and then you're lucky because it's going to be in your neck of the woods, right?
I know. I'm so excited. It's going to be in August. Now, my daughter's getting married August 2nd. So I keep putting a bug in those paraders' ears. Please make it a different day. So, hopefully, if I'm on the stage, great. If I'm not, I'll be in the audience cheering whoever it is on.
Exactly. And then another side note, because we were talking about this too. You actually have a business you had mentioned. You're there at the facility right now. You do specialty dresses, right?
Yes, I do. Yes. Yep. Prom,
So
homecoming, mother of the bride, gala, the whole bit. Yeah.
the next Impactor stage dresses.
You got it.
I'm sure. I'm sure. So bug in the ear, guys. Any of the women that will be traveling and
That's
you're
right.
not quite sure that you've got what you're looking for. I asked, I said, well, I have an interesting side these days because of the surgeries and everything. You're like, oh, yeah, no, no worries,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Well, we really at the store. I mean, it's really funny because we have so many different people come in here, and they always. I've had kids come in and say, "We were talking about you in the locker room today because you always find the perfect fit." When I hear that, I'm like, "Oh yes, that's so cool," and that's what it's about: is finding that perfect fit because not everyone likes wearing dresses. So you want to look fantastic in a dress, and it's really quite fun finding that perfect fit.
Well, you know what? Regardless of what happens, yes, I am now like, okay, I want to go to your store and have that perfect fit because you know what? Anybody that knows me knows that fashion, I am challenged. I am now saying it in a much kinder, gentler way than I used to. Because, I like to go to Costco, and if I find something, I buy it in every color, and then I'm good. It's like, okay, so treat
What
me
was really
better than
funny
some of
today,
our dear.
exactly, exactly. Today I had to do a YouTube channel came in and interviewed me today, and the YouTube channel is styling by, I can't remember the 2 year old's names, Constance, and I can't remember her daughter's name, but styling by them. And I said, I don't style. Not me. I wear like this stuff every day. And they're like, don't worry. And she goes, here, you want some jewelry? I'm like, I don't even wear jewelry. I was like, I don't style, but I can help people style.
I love it. That's a gift. That's a gift.
Well, thanks.
Absolutely. I just want to say thank you for coming on with me and
Hmm.
enjoying St. Patty's Day from your neck of the woods there in Chicago, and
No
as
problem.
and those people that I know that there's going to be quite a few that are going to jump on here later. Please put either hashtag live if you're here live now or
Hmm.
hashtag replay so that we can track it. I would really appreciate it, especially like on these holidays. It's really good to kind of see times and
Right.
such things like that since I go live whenever it works best for my guest. And so I
That's
want to
right.
say thank you because you actually had to reschedule because of me, and that was huge. And I appreciated your kindness and understanding because
Not.
life happens, guys. It does, and we don't
Yep.
always have a guarantee that everything is going to go completely smooth and you really do try to go on with the show. However, there are sometimes you have a hard stop and
Yep.
it just can't work. And so I want to say thank you for
No
that.
problem. Like you
So
said, life happens.
yeah, it does. It does, and it's a good thing. I love it that life happens, and that we're involved in that thing happening.
Exactly.
So, I want to thank you for what you're doing. It is an amazing service. And your event that's coming up, again, if you want to put
Hmm.
in, I'm going to put it back up, more information. If someone wants to find you, they want to know about the webinar, if they want
Yep.
to know about how to get tickets secured, and so that, because I'm sure you only can have so many people at the event, right?
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
But you know what I'd like to do, Tamara? I'd like to go ahead and offer your guests something really special. Anyone, like most people are traveling, some people are 3 hours away. I mean, 3 hours, down. I'm going to go ahead and put a half price promo code in your feed here. For anyone that's listening, please, please use that promo code. That's half off because I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day and listening. So I want to offer that up to your
Oh,
guests
that's
that are watching.
wonderful. That's wonderful. And I do have a lot of people from your neck of the woods that watch
Great.
this show.
Great.
I really do. I have a lot of friends in the Chicago area and the surrounding areas there. And so, you guys,
Mm-hmm.
if your kids, your grandkids, your neighbor kids, any kids are thinking about college, wink, wink, they should be. And for them to be able to not only then not just be talking about college, but thinking about truly what does college do? It prepares us for our future.
Right.
And I really don't want any of you having to deal with what the gentleman is that you just shared, that
Yep.
preparing to retire and is not going to even see his full retirement
Yep.
because he thought he was getting away with not paying those school loans.
Yep.
And don't go there either. If you have
Yeah,
school loans,
exactly.
take care of them.
Well,
Because that's
Tamara, real quick, one of the reasons why I even started this was my daughter, yes. But when I was in my 40s, okay, I had my wages garnished because I didn't pay my student loan debt. And I was like, student loan debt? Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about it. Because if you remember back then, we didn't get these
yeah,
notices like they get now. We
no,
would, once a
no.
year you get notice with your student loan. And I moved all around and just didn't really think about it. And that was one of those things I told my daughters, I never want you to have to go through that because that was terrible to have HR call you and say, guess what? You got a garnished wage because you didn't pay your student loan. I'm like, oh man, really?
Yeah, that's a tough one. And
Yeah.
yet, you know, the life has a way of doing that kind of stuff too, catching up with you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's much better to just deal with it.
Yeah.
And so now with this program and having the ability to really go after, um, I just find it genius to be able to go after smart. You may be able to get full ride scholarships. However, even if you don't get full ride, if you can go to the right school and even
Right.
diminish the debt and then be able to do it in a smart way that it's much more manageable and just
You
all of
got
these different things, you can have such a better future. And so again, my friends, if you're in the Chicago area at all, um, I would love, love, love for you to save these dates, see if
yeah.
you can be there. Tell your friends about this too, because a friend of a friend of a friend. Let's do this because this could literally change someone's future,
That's
many
correct.
people's future. 400 and something so far, you have actually affected their future over what, 12, 13 years now?
13 years now. Yep. Yep.
Yes, my hat goes off to you because
Well, thank you.
that is huge.
Well,
That is
it's been a
huge.
blast. It's been a blast. I enjoy it, and I'm having a great time. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't even think about the numbers until someone asked me last year. Otherwise, I didn't think about the numbers. I was just doing it, and we had to sit down and count it up. And this person said, "What?" I'm like, "I said what?" I was like, "Really?" I was like, "I'm just having a blast."
Well, that and it shows. It shows. I could tell that when I first saw your video because
Mm-hmm.
I love all of the impactor candidates
Mm-hmm.
for this whole program and I
Right.
love learning about everybody and I've voted for everybody and I've watched everybody's stuff because it's so important. It's so important
Right.
for us guys. And again, I'm going
There's a
through the
weird
audio
noise
a
going on. Do you
lot.
hear that?
Pardon?
All right, hold on. There's some weird noise going on. If you hear that or not, but go ahead.
We're good.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to let everybody know here that this is the first season and it is a show to promote good. So let's support this program, support it with the numbers, support it, uh, vote. Go in there and watch the videos. Vote for Mary.
Thank you.
Go in there. Yes, absolutely. Go in there and support this program and let Loren and the other creators of the next impactor understand that this is something that people want, that
Right.
people want to. Okay, there is a loud clicking noise.
Yeah, there is a loud noise. Do you hear that? Yeah, I hear that too, guys. I don't know where that's coming from. Thanks, Andrea. I'm going to go ahead. If I turn down my phone, let me see what happens. Andrea, can you hear it now? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and end it now. And thank you, everybody. I hope it
Why don't you take me down, Tamara? Go ahead and take me off the screen and see if it goes away.
Okay. It is not going to want to know it's from my side. And I do have earbuds. Andrea, is it still there? It's louder than me. Okay.
Yeah, it's still there. I'm not sure why.
Okay, I've gone to earbuds. So,
Yeah. And I don't know where my
Alright.
earbuds are.
Okay, so what we will do is we're going to go ahead and end the show. Guys, watch Mary's Impactor video. Go in and watch the other ones also. Vote. And support this show because everybody that's involved, everybody is giving their heart and serving others, and that's why they want to be an impactor. It's huge. All right, and thank you for what you're doing, Mary. So as we close day number 222 of 365 days of awesome, celebrate success through service, I'm going to say thank you for what you're doing, giving those that are going after their lives at a very pivotal time a true future.
Thank you for what you're doing too. Very cool.
Thank you. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Sounds
Bye.
good.